standard deviation. SD means standard deviation. So if I don't want to write this symbol for standard deviation, so I can write SD. So standard deviation all over what? Mean times what? Times 100 over 1. So anytime, any day, we want to determine coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation is what? Standard deviation over mean times 100 over 1. So what's our mean? Are we together? And it can be written as what? This symbol all over what? Our S bar. Because of objective question, those of you in LASU, standard deviation is the same thing as this symbol. Your mean is the same thing as S bar times 100 over 1. So standard deviation now we have just calculated our standard deviation. What is the answer we get in our standard deviation? 6.09. So we now write 6.09. Then all over mean, don't forget our mean, which is S bar, is what? 13.84. If you backward your DVD, you can get it. But for me to not forget the answer, I've written it here. Are we together? I wrote it here when we got the answer. So our mean, which is S bar, is the same thing as what? 13.84. You can backward your DVD and get it. So that is what? 13.84. Then times 100 over 1. Our standard deviation we just calculated is still on the board. This is here. Our mean, which we calculated previously, is what? 13.84. So having done that, then we're not going to use calculator to get the answer. So 6.09 divided by 13.84. This divided by this times 100 will give us this. So this divided by this, the answer we get multiplied by 100, you're going to get what? Approximately 44%. So that's the answer. Have a look at this now. I will beg you to backward your DVD as many times as possible to get the understanding. Statistics is not hard, but the way to sit down and study this, study all my illustration right from the beginning, that is the problem. I'm telling you, your problem is not your problem. Any problem you have in any calculational course is not your problem. Your problem is your attitude, is your what? Your attitude towards that what? Calculational course. So anything you call your problem on calculation is not your problem. Your attitude towards it is your problem. So your problem is not your problem, but your attitude and how you handle your problem, that is your problem. Are we together? So I want you to backward your DVD as many times as possible to get your result, because you can't escape it in exam. About division of data into what? Into certain group. Any year you have partition. To partition means what? To divide data into what? Certain segments. So anytime you hear the word quartile simply means what? Division of what? Division of what? Data of a given distribution by 4. Quartile simply means what? Division of what? Data. So we are going to look at quartile now. Quartile simply means what? Division of data of a given distribution by 4. That is what? Quartile. Then what we mean by decile? Decile simply means what? Division of data of a given distribution by 10. That is meaning of decile. Then percentile simply means what? Division of data by what? By 100. So whenever you divide, that is n divided by 4, give us what? Give us quartile. So whenever you divide the total number of a given distribution by 4, that gives us what? Quartile. But if you divide the total number of a given distribution by 10, we say it is what? Decile. While if you divide the total number of a given distribution by what? By 100, we say it is what? Percentile. So we have quartile, decile, percentile, and they all fall under a measure of partition. So from here now we're going to pick a question from LASCOTEC. Are we together? After which we pick some question from LASU. So as the word, we pick question pertaining to quartile, decile, percentile, and pick from LASU, so that LASU student will not be complaining that I don't make use of your past question. So let us talk about what? Quartile. So we have different types of what? Quartile. The first one is what? Lower quartile. Lower quartile is represented by what? Q1. Then the formula is what? N1 plus N over what? N over 4 minus CFB all over Fn times what? C. So that is what? The formula for what? The formula for lower quartile. Then the second one is what? Semi-quartile. Semi-quartile means half, isn't it? So semi-quartile is Q1, right? Q2. Semi-quartile is represented by what? Q2, which is equal to what? N1 plus what? 2n over 4 minus CFB bracket what? C all over Fn. So that's what? Semi-quartile. Then we have what? Upper quartile. Upper quartile is represented by what? Q3. And the formula is what? L1 plus what? L1 plus 3n over 4 minus CFB all over what? All over Fn. Are we together? Then the next one is what? Interquartile range. Interquartile range is what? Q3 minus Q1. That is upper quartile minus lower quartile, because I told you range means what? Highest minus lowest. Okay? Let's go there. Then the next one is semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile range or quartile deviation. Another name for semi-interquartile range is what? Quartile deviation. And the answer is what? Q3 over what? Q3 minus Q2. Q3 minus Q1 over 2. Then the last one is what? Quartile coefficient of skewness. And this how to calculate it. Are we together? So from here we're going to pick question from last quarter and solve for all these formula one after the other. So I will explain how you are going to decode the formula one after the other. So let's go there. It is very, very simple. Question comes from last quarter 2006 to 2007, and we are asked what? It was question number 3 from your past question. You can see. You can see the past question with me. So this is your past question, last quarter student. I will together Lagos State Polytechnic. So I collected your past question. So anything I saw is mainly from your past question. Now let's go there. Now they say the first question that comes in says that define measure of partition. Now I've defined it. Measure of partition is what? Grouping of data into what? Into different parts. That is division of data by what? Certain number. If it is quartile by 4, decile by 10, percentile by 100. That is what? List. They don't say the question number what? Number B. List type of what? List type of partition. They say you should list them. And I've given you the list: quartile, decile, percentile. It is no more than 3. But there's some school of thought that say we have what is called fractile. All together. But the one that is commonly known to statistician is what? Is quartile, decile, and percentile. Then after which you are now asked to work to solve this problem. So let's go there. Let's look at the solution. Now, hello, let's go there. Now the question is what? Is this? What they ask us to what? What they ask us to determine is what? Lower quartile, upper quartile, and interquartile range. Are we together? So this is now the solution. So this is the solution. Anytime you want to calculate quartile, percentile, or any form of partition, what you just need to get is your cumulative frequency. That's the first thing you need to get. So let's get the first cumulative. So what is the first one? 1. You write it. 1 plus 3, we have what? 4. 4 plus 11 will give us what? 15. Then 15 plus this one will give us what? 36. 36 plus this one will give us what? 79. Then 79 plus this will give us what? 111. And 111 plus 9 will give us 100 and what? 110. So when we add everything together, one after the other, we're going to get that. Now, 111 plus 9 will give us what? 120. So that is what we have here. So according to the question, we are asked to calculate what? Lower quartile, upper quartile, and interquartile range. Are we together? So let's write the formula of lower quartile. So lower quartile. What's our what? Lower quartile. Lower quartile is the same thing as Q1, so there's no for me to write what that. Now the first thing you are going to get is what? Since you have written the formula, the first thing you are going to get is what? The lower quartile class, Q1 class. We call it lower quartile class. Let me just write it. Lower quartile what? Quartile class. Are we together? Which is equal to what? What do we have here? We have n over 4, which is equal to what? N over 4. Fourth position. Whatever thing you have here, that is your what? Lower quartile class. So, and I have told you before that, oh yeah, add, what do you have? We have 120. If you add all your frequency together, you are going to have 120. So your lower quartile class, after you have done your cumulative frequency, the next thing is for you to write your formula. After you have written the formula, then the next thing is for you to get your lower quartile class. If you are looking for upper quartile, you have to get upper quartile class. Don't worry, let's get there one by one. So our n means summation of the frequency, which is 120. So we are now going to say what? 120 divided by what? Divided by 4, which is called what? 30th position. Are we together? 30th position. Now, after we have gotten our 30th position, we will now come back here and get what? And get our answer one after the other. L1. So yeah, let's get, this is 30. Come to cumulative frequency. The first number to be up to 30 and more. So this one is not up to 30, this one is not up to 30, this one is not up to 30, but this one is what? Up to 30 and even more than 30. So this is now called our lower quartile class. So because this is the first number to be up to 30 and even greater than 30. So now this one that we get here now, our L1 equals to, since this is the class, our L1 is what? Lower class minus 0.5. So we now say 0 minus 60 minus 0.5, just like we did under median and mode, if you can still remember. So this minus we have what? 59.5. That's our L1. After we have gotten our L1, the next one is CFB, cumulative frequency of that class. So if this is the class, are we together? What is cumulative frequency before it? The cumulative frequency before it was 15. What? Our class. So the cumulative frequency before that class is 15. So this means cumulative frequency before. Since we have done it on that median, I didn't need to write it again. So that's 15. Then FM means what? Frequency of that class. What is the frequency of the class? 21. Then C is the word class interval. So what is the difference between the corresponding lower class? That is 10. So we have gotten everything we need. If it's not clear, backward the DVD and get the understanding. Now, so from here, the first thing you have to do is to get it. Then come here, the first number to be up to 30. Then that is the class. So start 0.5 to get your L1. Then your CFB means cumulative frequency before that class. FM is the frequency of that class. Class interval is the corresponding difference. So let's go there now. Let's go there. Now, what's our L1? Our L1 is what? 59.5. This is 59.5. 59.5. Then plus n divided by 4. N divided by 4, we have done it already. That is 30. N divided by 4, this is it here. 30. So that's 30. 30. Then minus what? CFB. What is my CFB? 15. Are we together? 15. Then all over what? FM. What is my FM? 21. My FM is 21. Then bracket C. What is my C? 10. Bracket C. My C is 10. So my Q1 now equals to what? 9.5 plus what? 30 minus 15. That will give us what? 15. All over 21. Bracket what? 10. That is 30 minus 15. That's 15. Then 10. So let's go there. We now have 59.5. 59.5 plus 59.5 plus 15 times 10. 15 times 10, that is what? 150. Then over what? 21. So we're now going to get our answer. 59.5 plus 50. 150 divided by 21. So our Q1, let's go. So our Q1 equals to what? So this divided by this. This divided by this is what? 150 divided by 21 will give us what? 7.14. So 59.5 plus 7.14 will give us what? 66.64. So that's the answer to Q1. Because we need it, let's just write it somewhere here. So our Q1 now is what? 66.64. So I can rub the board. So just write as much as possible. And I've told you at the beginning of this class, get a piece of paper or an exercise book. Start jotting down all this illustration one after the other. Quartile. So our upper quartile is the same thing as what? Q3. Now I want you to know that what we have here? 3. Now here too, 3 will be attached to it. So assuming we have what? 1 here, 1 will be attached to n. So anytime I need for you to decode the formula, I want you to decode the formula. Now this is upper quartile. So because it is 3, we are going to put 3 here. Assuming I want to calculate my semi-quartile now, I will say n1 plus 4. What I have here? 2. I will say 2n over 4. then minus CFB all over what? FM bracket C. If I'm looking for lower quartile, which is 1, which is called L1, plus what do you have here? 1. 1n is still the same thing as n. 1n. So that's why 1 is not written. So when I'm looking for upper quartile, it's simple for upper quartile is 3. So that 3 must be attached to n. Then the second one is what? Semi-quartile. Semi-quartile is 2. So that 2 must be attached to it. I want to get that one after the other. So it depends on what you are looking for. So anything attaching to the key, that is what you are going to place beside your n anytime, any day in the formula. So since we have written the formula of upper quartile, so the first thing now, after we have written the formula, then the next thing is for you to get what? Upper quartile class. Upper quartile class. Upper quartile class. And your upper quartile class is the totality of what you have here. You know, under lower quartile, what we have here is just n over 4. Here now we are now having what? 3n over 4. So whatever thing you have here, that's what we are going to pick. So anything you have here, so the code, anything we have here, that's what we are going to pick. Are we together? So from here, we can now get it. So we now say our upper quartile class equals to 3 times n. What is my n? Summation of the frequency, which is what? 120. And now say 3 times 120 divided by 4. So 3 times 1 is what? 360 divided by 4. And the answer equals to what? 90. So 90th position. So the position of my quarter is what? 90. Now, since it is 90, so let me now come to my cumulative frequency. I will go and look for the first number to be up to 90 and even more than 90. So is this one up to 90? None of this up to 90 except here. So this one is up to 90 and even more than 90. So since it's like this, so what we're now going to do is that this now becomes our what? Our upper quartile class. Because this is the first number to be up to what? 90 and even more than 90. Are we together? So from here now, let us now get our N1. Our N1, since this is our class, are we together? This is the lower and this is the what? Upper. Based on what we get. So what's our L1? Our L1 is what? 80. So we're now going to say our L1 will now become what? 80 minus 0.5, which is equal to what? 79.5. That's our L1. Then the next thing is what? CFB. What's my CFB? If this is the class, what is cumulative frequency before it? That is what? 79. The cumulative frequency before it is what? 79. Are we together? Then the next one is what? FM. What's the frequency of that class? The frequency of that class is what? 32. So the frequency of the class is what? 32. Then the last thing we need to know is our class interval. The difference between the corresponding lower class. That is equal to what? 10. So here now, in the formula, let's now make use of everything in the formula one by one. Our Q3. What's our Q3? L1. What is my L1 now? 79.5. Then plus 3n over 4, we have already done it. What do we get? 90. So just put it at 90. Minus what? Minus CFB. What's my CFB? That is what? 79. Then all over FM. What is my FM? My FM is what? 32. Then bracket C. What is my C? 10. That is just about that. Very simple. Now we look at the next thing. So Q3 equals to what? 79.5 plus. Now, 19 minus 79. 19 minus 79 will give us what? 11. Then all over what? 32. Then bracket 10. So our Q3 now equals to 79.5 plus, now 11 times 10, that is 110 divided by 32, which is equal to what? 79.5 plus, now 110 divided by 32. Now, 110 divided by 32 will give us what? 3.44. So 79.5 plus 3.44 will give us what? 82.94. And that is our what? Upper quarter. So that has answered question number 2. So now let us write it here. Are we together? Because of some other things that we are going to do. That is Q3. Our Q3 equals to what? 82.94. I'm writing it down because if you want to calculate something like interquartile range and some other things like that. So let's go there. The next thing now we are going to do is let us find interquartile range 0.94. So we have written it before and it's still down. We have not cleaned it. Together it's still down. Then our Q1 is what? 66.64. minus 66.64 minus what? 66.64. So we are now going to get our final answer to be equal to. Now, this is what? This is just giving us what? Interquartile range. So interquartile range now is what? This minus this give us what? 16.3. Now, they didn't ask us, so we have answered the question, but let's assume that they asked us to find semi-interquartile range or quartile deviation. So semi-interquartile range now, because you might be asked, if they didn't ask you this year, they will ask you next year. So semi-interquartile range 2. So semi-interquartile range is the same thing as well. Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. And we all know that our Q3 is what? 82.92 and 94. Then minus Q1, which is what? 66.64. Then divided by 2. And this answer we get, this minus the answer we get, we just say what? This minus this will give us 16.3, then divided by 2. The answer equals to what? 8.15. Altogether, 8.15. So that is the answer for our semi-interquartile range. Now, so let us now look at what? Let's look at what? Semi-quartile. You know what we have just said was semi-interquartile range. So let us now look at what? Semi-quartile. Look at let's look at number 5 now. So we have answered the question. So let us now look at how to calculate semi-quartile. Semi-quartile is there must be 2 because there's 2 beside Q. If it is upper quartile, there's 3 must be beside N. So we're now going to look for semi-quartile class. Semi-quartile class equals to what? 2n/4. And I told you that n is summation of the frequency. And this becomes what? 2 times 120 divided by 4, which is equal to what? 240 divided by 4. And the answer equals to what? 60. So we call it 60th position. All together, 60th position. And since it is 60th position, where does it fall? You can say that what is the first number to be up to 60? This is the first number. So now this is where our semi-quartile fall. Actually, we are not to write it to what? I'm just writing it for you to know. Together just for you to know. Okay? Now from here, semi-quartile class falls here. So what is my L1? My L1 as usual is what? 17 minus what? 0.5, which is equal to what? 69.5. Then what is my CFB? If this is my semi-quartile class, what is cumulative frequency before it? That is what? 36. My CFB equals to what? 36. Then what is my FM? My FM, frequency of that semi-quartile, that is what? That is 43. Then our C is 10. The difference between them is 10. So let us now put it there and get our answer one after the other. So let's go there. So our Q2 will now be equals to L1. What is my L1? My L1 is what? 69.5. Then plus what? 2n divided by 4. We've already gotten into the word 60. Minus CFB. What's my CFB? 36. Then all over what? FM. My FM is what? 43. Then bracket C, which is 10. So our Q2 equals to 69.5 plus. Okay, well, let's go there. Now 60. So 60 minus 36 will give us 24. 24 over what? 43. Then bracket 10. And our Q2 equals to what? 69.5 plus 240 times 10, and 24 times 10 will give us what? 240 over what? 43. So our Q2 equals to what? 69.5 plus, let's go there. So our what? This is the now. So 240 divided by 43, 240 divided by 43, it will give us what? 5.58. And 69.5 plus 5.58 will give us what? 75.08. So let us now write it here as well. Our Q2 is what? 75.08. Now the reason why I wrote them down is because of interquartile range, semi-interquartile range. And the last thing, which is what? Coefficient, quartile coefficient of what? Skewness. How do we get that? Very simple. The coefficient of skewness is equal to what? Q3 minus 2Q2 plus Q1. Please, this place is what? Is plus. Are we together? So this place is plus. So please take note of that. Then all over what? All over Q3 minus Q1. So anytime, any day. So what's our Q3? Q3, let's go there. Now Q3 is what? Equals to what? 82. 82.94. Then minus what? 2. 2 into bracket Q2. What are Q2? 75.08. Altogether then plus, this place is plus. Take note of that. Now plus what? Q1. What's my Q1? My Q1 equals to 66.64. Then all over what? Q3. What's my Q3? My Q3 is what? 82.994 minus Q1, which is what? 66.64. So my Q1 is 66 minus 64. So let's put that. We now have what? 82.94 minus. So this times this will give us 150.16. Altogether then plus what? Plus 66.64. Then all over this minus this. This minus this will give us what? 16.3 altogether. So let's use the calculator to get the final answer. Now the next one we are going to look at is what? This minus this plus this will give us what? Minus 0.58. This minus this plus this. Use your calculator. This minus this plus this. Then you are going to get it. So this divided by this gives us what? Minus 0.04. So if you are asked now, the coefficient is what? Negatively skewed. Are we together? What? If you are asked what type of skewness is it? Negative what? Negative skewness. So it is negatively skewed. So let's quickly look at what? Decile and percentile. Are we together before we round it up and go to another topic? Let's look at what? The last illustration under what? Measure of partition. So this question comes from LASU 2006 to 2007. We are asked to calculate for 5th decile, 8th decile, 90 percentile, 10 percentile, 50 percentile, all together. Then lastly, number 6, let's just put it there. Let's just put it there. Let's just say 9 what? 10 percentile minus what? 90 percentile range. Are we together? Then and so on like that. So when we just get there, we are going to do some other things, even though it is not required. So solution now. Let's go to the solution board. Solution now. The first thing you are going to do, so after writing the question this way, the first thing you are going to do is to get our what? Cumulative word frequency. And how do we get our cumulative frequency? So the first frequency is what? Is 10. Are we together? So the first cumulative frequency is 10. So the next one now, 10 plus 23 will give us what? 33. 33 plus what? 33 plus 38 will give us what? 71. Then 71 plus what? Plus this. 71 plus 18 will give us what? Will give us 89. Then 89 plus 11 will give us what? 100. So that is just about that. So our total cumulative frequency now is what? Is 100. Our total frequency is 100 too. So the first one they ask us to get is what? 5th decile. How do we calculate decile? Now they ask you to find 5th decile. Decile is represented by D, capital letter D. Because they say 5th decile, you write D5. If it's 8th decile, you write what? D8. So what is the formula? The formula is N1 plus what? N divided 5N. You know we have 5 here. We say 5N all over what? 10. 5N over 10 minus what? Minus CFB all over what? FM bracket C. If you are looking for 5 decile, there is going to be 5N. If you are looking for 10 decile, it's going to be what? 10N. Are we together? So whatever thing that you have here, that what we are what will be attaching to N. So the next one is what? We have to get what? 5th decile class. 5th decile class. 5th what? Decile class. This one means what? That is 50 decile class. Are we together? For some of you that might not understand the denotation, it's not going to be because of everything you have here, which is equal to 5N over 10. Are we together? 5N over 10. So, and what's our N? N is 100. We're not going to say what? 5N. Since we are looking for what? 5th decile, our N is the total frequency. I've said it several times. Then all over what? N. So because we say decile is what? Division of number by 10. That's why we are using 10. Quarter is 4. We use 4. When we get the percentile, we are going to use 100. Just little by little. Go down. So what do we have here? So what we are going to look here is very simple. So we have what? So we now have 10. So this cancel this. What are you going to have? So 5 times 100, because of some people don't know how to cut. 500 times 100, that's 500 divided by 10. So 500 divided by 10 is your 50th position. So we now come back here and see what is the first number to be up to 50. This is not up to 50, this is not up to 50, but this one is up to 50. So this is now our what? This is now our class, our what? Fifth decile class. So what's our L1? Our L1 equals to what? 35 minus 0.5, which is equal to what? 34.5. Are we together? That's the first one. Then the next one is our cumulative frequency, D4. So if this is our what? Fifth decile, our fifth what? Decile. Are we together? Now, fifth decile. I'm not meant to write it, but I'm just writing it for you to know. If this is the fifth decile, what is the cumulative frequency before it? That is what? 33. Then what is the frequency of that class? That is our FM, 38. Then class interval, what is the difference between them? 5. The difference between this and this is 5. This and this is 5. So class interval is 5. So we now go to our what? Fifth decile. What's our L1? L1 equals to what? 34.5 plus what? 5n divided by 10. We have already calculated it to be what? 50. Minus what? CFB, which is equal to what? CFB equals to 33. Our CFB is 33. All of our what? FM, our FM down is what? 38. Then bracket C, which is equal to 5. So from here, our D5 equals to what? Our D5 now equals to 34.5 plus what? This minus this will give us what? 27. All over what? 38 bracket 5. So we now have 34.5 plus this times 5 divided by that. Now, so that 27 times 5 will give us what? 135. 135 divided by 38 will give us what? 3.55. So 34.5 plus 3.55 will give us what? 38.05. So 38.05. So that is the answer to what? Fifth what? Decile. Are we together? So let us now look at what? 8 decile. So the next question says we should calculate what? 8 decile. So for what? 8 decile, we are going to write D8. If you are looking for 9 decile, you look for what? You get what? You write D9. If you are looking for 4 decile, you write what? D2. And whatever thing you have written as your decile, you must attach it to your end. When I was looking for 5th decile, I wrote 5 beside n. Now I am looking for 8th decile, I'm going to write what? 8 beside n. So the next one is for me to get what? 8 decile class. That's the next thing. 8 what? Decile class, which is equal to what? 8n over 10. 8n over 10. Altogether, position, 8n over 10. So we have 8 times n. What is my n? 100. Then divided by what? Divided by 10. So this gives me what? 800 divided by 10, which is equal to what? 80th position. Are we together? So that's 80th position. Then the next thing is for us to come here. Among this cumulative frequency, which one of them is up to what? 80. So it is this one. So this is now our what? 8 what? 8 decile. So this is where our 8 decile class fall. Are we together? 8 decile. Actually, I'm not meant to write it, but I'm just writing it so that when we are picking our L1, everything you'll be able to understand. So what's my L1 now? My L1 equals to, since this is where it falls, when I say 40 minus 0.5, and that is what? 39.5. Then the next one is what? CFB. What's my CFB? If this is my 8th decile class, what is cumulative frequency before it? That is what? 71. This is the position 71. Then my FM. What is my FM? The frequency of that class. That is what? 81. Then the next one is what? Class interval. The corresponding class interval is what? Is what? The corresponding class interval is 5. So the corresponding class interval is 5. So the next thing now is that let us now go to the formula and substitute. So our 8th decile equals to L1. What is my L1? 39.5. Then plus 8n over 10. Everything is 80. Then minus CLV. What is my CLV? My CFB is what? 71. Then all over FM, which is equal to what? 18. Then bracket C. My C is 5. L1, all this is this, then CFB is this, FM is this, then C is 5. So that's just it. So we now have what? D8 equals to what? 39.5 plus 70 minus 7, that is what? 18 minus 71, that is 9 over 18, bracket what? 5. So we now have what? 39.5 plus 9 times 5, that is 45. All over what? 18. So 9 times 5 is what? 9 times 5 is 5 over what? Over 18. So from here, so 9 times 5 will give us 45. 45 divided by 18 will give us what? 2.5. So when we add everything together, it will give us what? 42. So that is the answer to this. So if you add everything, this plus this now, 39.5 plus 2.5 will give us what? 42. That's our 8th decimal. So this question came out in LASU 2006 to 2007. So these are to go about it. So the next thing is what? Let's go and calculate our what? Percentile. So the next thing we are going to look at is what? 90 percentile. So the next thing we are going to look at question number 3. So number 3 is for percentile. Now because it is percentile, so percentile is always represented by P, meaning percent. Because we are looking for 90 percentile, definitely 90 must be attached to the end, and every other thing remains the same. You will see that there is no difference between quartile percentile formula, rather than if it's percentile 100, if it is decimal 10, if it is quartile 4, and so on. So the first thing we are going to get is what? 90 percentile class. We're going to get 90 percentile class. For anything you want to calculate, you are going to get the class so that you will know where you are going in the table. So 90 percentile class. So and that is what? 90n over what? Over 100. It's got to 90 times. What do you have here? 100. So 90 here is 100. So we now multiply by 100. So we multiply by 100 divided by 100. N is 100. N is 100. So 100 we cancel 100. The answer equals to what? 90. Are we together? So we now call it 90th position. So let's come back here. Where does it fall? It falls under 100. 90 falls under it because this is what? 89. 89 is now up to 90. So you come down. So this is where our 90 percentile fall. Are we together? So this is now the rule. So now let us now get everything one by one. This is what? 90 percentile. So I'm just writing it for you to understand. This is where it falls. Where it is our L1. Our L1 now will now be equal to what? 45 minus 2.5, which is equal to 44.5. Then the next thing is for us to get our CFB. What's our CFB? If this is 90 percentile class, what's our CFB? Cumulative before that class, that is 89. That is what? 89. Then what is my FM? My FM is the frequency of that class. What is the frequency? 11. The frequency of that class is 11. Class interval is 5. The corresponding class interval is 5. So I will get everything we need. Then we can now go to the formula. So we now say 90 percentile equals to what? N1, which is what? 44.5 plus. Now all these things we have calculated it to be 90 minus what? CFB. What are CFB? Our CFB is what? 81. Then all over FM, which is what? 11. Your FM, 11. Then bracket what? Bracket C, which is equal to 5. So we now have for 44.5 plus this minus it, that is what? 1 all over what? 11. Bracket what? Bracket 5. So we now have 44.5 plus 5 times 1. 1 times 5 is 5 divided by 11. We now have for 44.5 plus, so this divided by this, I don't know, let me calculate that. So 11 divided by 5 divided by 11 is what? 0.45. So when we add it together, we now have 44.95. So that is our what? 90 percentile. So let me write it somewhere because we will need it later in the day. Are we together? So we have what? 44.95. So that's just it. Now let us now calculate the next one, 10 percentile. So how do we get? Let's look for what? Let's look at what? Let's look for 10 percentile. Because we are looking for 10 percentile, definitely there's going to be 10 beside our n. So when we look for 90, we use what? 90. So we are now going to look for what? 10 percentile class. Percentile class. Because now 10 percentile class will now be equals to what? N equals to what? 10n. 10n over what? Over 100. So what do we have now? Now we have what? We now have what? 10 times what? Our n is 100. Our n is 100. All over what? 100. So 100 cancel 100, we have for tenths. All together 10th position. Where does it fall? So let's come at our cumulative frequency. So we have 10, and this is exact 10. So this is where our what? 10 percentile falls. 10 percentile. All together 10 percentile. This is where it falls. Are we together? Now, please and please, I want you to know that you are not to be writing all this thing, but I am just using it to aid your understanding, for you to understand me very well. That's why I'm writing it. So this is where it falls. So let's roll it out. Now, what's our L1? Our L1 is what? 25 minus 0.5. Are we together? Which is equal to what? 24.5. Then next is what? CLB. And know that cumulative frequency before this class, there is none, so we call it what? 0. Since there is none, we call it what? 0. Then our Fn equals to what? What's our Fn? Our Fn is 10. What? Fn is 10. And then the last thing we are going to look at is what? Class interval, which is equal to 5. So now, look at this now. Our cumulative frequency before, there's no cumulative frequency before this 10. Since there is none, and something that is none is what? 0. Are we together? Though statistically I've never come across it, but since it appeared this way, so please you can use it to test your intelligence in the exam. So let's go there. We have what? 10 percentile equals to what? L1. What's my L1? We have what? 24.5. How we together? 24.5. Then plus what? My C 10, all these things is 10. Minus what? C what? CFB 0. Divided by Fm. My Fm is 10. Then bracket C, which is 5. So we now have for 2.5. Then 24.5 plus 10 minus 0, we have for 10. 10 over what? 10 bracket 5. So we now have for 24.5 plus 10 times 5, what do you have? 50. So 10 times 5 equals to what? 50. 50 divided by what? 10. 10 times 5 is 50 divided by 10. So we now have for 24.5. 24.5, 50 divided by 10, that is 5. So, and 5 plus what? 24.5 plus 5 equals to what? 29.5. Are we together? So that's what? 10 percentile. So that's how we work it out. So whenever there's no cumulative frequency before the class you are considering, that cumulative frequency before is what? 0. So let us now write this one down somewhere. We have what? We have 10 equals to P10 equals to what? 29.5. 29.5. Then let us now look at the second to the last. How would you get that? Let's look at 50 percentile. Now the formula for what? 50 percentile equals to this. So we have to get what? 50 percentile class. 50 percentile class equals to what? 50 n over what? Over 100. All together. So we now say what? 50 times 100. What do you have? 50 times 100. So we have 50 times 100. 50 times 100 divided by what? Divided by 100. Because our n is what? 100. And this is 50. So 100 cancel 100. So the answer equals to what? 50. Are we together? So 50th position. So 50th position. So since it falls under 50th position, so this is also what? 50th position. And 50th position. So look at it. We have 50 decile. I want you to know that 50 decile and 50 decile are together must give us the same answer. If I say that our 50 also fall here, are we together? Our 50 also will fall here. So 50, I'm going to give you a note at the end of the day. So 50 percentile also fall here. So 50 decile is also the same thing as well. 50 percentile. Let me just write it this way. Now from here, what's our L1? Since this is where it falls, what's our L1? Our L1 is what? Our L1 equals to what? 35.1.
35 minus what? 0.45, which is equal to what? 34.5. I will together, that's L1. That's what L1. Then, having got that, then the next thing is our CFP. Since it falls here, I will together, since our 50% falls here, what's the cumulative frequency before it? That is what? 33. Then what's our FM? What's the FM? Frequency of that class, that is 38. Then our class interval is what? Is 5. So let's just get it and go. So from here, we now say 50 percentile equals to L1. What is my L1? 34.5 plus what? This 50 n over 100 is already what? Simplified to be 50 minus CFB, which is equal to what? 33. Then all over what? FM, which is equal to what? 38. All together. Then bracket C, which is equal to 5. So we now have 34.5 plus what? This minus this, what do we have? So 50 minus that will give us what? 20. That should give us 17. That should give us what? 17. Then all over what? 38 bracket what? Bracket 5. You are not to use F, you are expected to use calculator because of a mistake in the exam. So go and buy paper seller calculator, even though you don't have money to buy confirmed calculator like this. Are we together? So when we multiply, so 17 times 5 will give us what? 85. And then 17 times 5 will give us 85. Then 85 divided by 38 will give us what? 2.24. And 34.5 plus 2.24 will give us 36.74. So if it's not clear, just backward the division and get the understanding. That's all about what? 50 percentile. So let's just write it down somewhere. 50 percentile. So our 50 percentile is what? 36.74. So let's just write it down here. So now the next thing we are not going to look at, let us now look at what? This word, 10 to what? 90. This is 10 to 90, not 10 to. This is B range. Percentile and what? And the 90 percentile range. So how do you calculate this? So 10 what? 10 percentile. 10 percentile minus what? 90 percentile range. 90 what? 90 percentile what? Range is always equals to what? 90 percentile. Hello, this is how it is written. But this how you are going to solve it. It's going to be 90 percentile minus what? Minus 10 percentile. According to the word range. Range is always equals to what? Highest percentile minus the lower percentile. Upper quartile minus lower quartile. So what's our 90 percentile? Our 90 percentile equals to what? 44.95 minus 10 percentile, which is equal to what? 29.5. 29.5. So let us now subtract. Now, so this minus this now give us 15.45. They can also ask us to find what? Semi 10 percentile minus what? To what? Semi and the 90 percentile range. They can ask you to find the semi of this. Anytime you are asked to find the semi of what? This and this range. What it means equals to what? Equals to what? 90 percentile minus what? Minus 10 percentile divided by 2. Because semi means half. Anytime you hear the word semi, it means to divide that thing by 2. So what we just have to do is just say this is it, 44.95 minus 29.5 divided by 2, which is equal to what? 15.45 divided by 2, which is equal to what? Divided by this. 15.45 divided by 2 will give us what? 7.725. Are we together? That's the answer. So the last thing that you may be asked to calculate is what? Percentile, number last now. Percentile coefficient of what? Percentile coefficient of what? Of skewness. Percentile coefficient of skewness. So they can ask you to calculate a percentile coefficient of skewness. Percentile minus 250 percentile minus what? Plus what? 10 percentile. All over what? 90 percentile minus what? 10 percentile. So the formula for calculating percentile coefficient of skewness is this. So under percentile, they can ask you that what you have to do is that all the answers you have got, just maneuver your way, add them together and do the right thing.
So what's our 90 percentile? I've written them down before. Our 90 percentile is what? 44.95 minus 2. We have to put 2. What's our 50 percentile? 36.94. 74. 36.74. Then plus what? 10 percentile, which is equal to 29.5. Then all over what? 90 percentile, which is 44.95. Then minus 10 percentile, which is equal to what? 29.5. So that's just it. 90 percentile. This is your 90 percentile. This is your 10 percentile. So let us now work it out and get the final answer. Now, if we add all this together, so this times 2, so 2 times 6.74 will give us this, then plus this. So this minus this plus this will give us what? 0.97. So when this minus this plus this, use your calculator, you will get 0.97. Then this one minus this one will give us what? 15.45. So 0.97 divided by 15.45 will give us what? 0.062, and that is the end of what? Percentile, quartile, decile. Are we together? So please and please, I would like you to know one thing, that if it is not clear, if everything has been explained to you concerning measure of partition is not clear, please and please help me to backward your DVD as many times as possible so as to get your understanding, because I always believe that you understand everything I've been saying. So if you don't understand, please just backward your DVD and get the understanding. Thank you for watching. So the next thing we are going to do is to note there are some certain things that are very synonymous to this, what we have done. So please quickly note. Just now note, I want you to know that fifth decile, are we together? Fifth decile is equal to, lastly, I want you to note that fifth decile is equal to what? 50 percentile, and it is also equal to what? Semi-quartile. And totally all of them, they are also what? Equals to what? Median. I want you to note that, because exam condition, they can ask you that what is the equivalent of what? 50 decile. 50 decile, it is equal to what? 50 percentile. And at the same time, it is equal to what? Quartile, semi-quartile, and median. Let me prove it. According to what is the formula for median? Let us prove it now. Median formula is N1 plus what? N over 2 minus CFB all over what? Fn bracket C. Let us prove it now. Let's prove it. Are we together? One after the other. Now we have for fifth decile. Our fifth decile is the same thing as L1 plus what? It is the same thing as L1 into bracket of 5n divided by what? 10, because decile is 10, then minus CFB all over what? All over Fn bracket C. So for this 5, we cancel this 5 here 1, 5 here 2, and this automatically becomes what? N1 plus what? Plus N over 2 minus CFB all over what? Fn bracket C. See, this 5 here 1, this 5 here is 2. So you can now say that this looks like what? Median. I want you to also know that what? I want you to also know that 50 percentile is also equal to median. So 50 percentile is L1 plus what? 50 n over what? 100 minus CFB all over what? Fn, then bracket C. That's the formula. So 50 here 1, 50 here is 2. It's also the same as F1 plus what? N over 2 minus CFB all over what? All over Fn bracket C. See the same thing as median. Then lastly, semi-quartile, which is equal to Q2. It's the same thing as N1 plus what? 2n over 4. Anytime we talk about quartile, we talk about 4. Minus CFB all over what? All over Fn bracket C. It now be equal to L1 plus what? L1 plus, look at 2 here 1, 2 here is also 2. And that is what? That is n over 2. That's n over 2 minus CFB all over what? Fn bracket C. You will now see that all these formula one by one looks like what? Median. That is why statistically all these are the same. Thank you very much for watching. So we are going to I will talk about what? Measure of partition. The next topic we are going to look at is what? Moment, skewness, and kurtosis. Moment, skewness, and kurtosis. Are we together? So for those of you that are in what? In LASU, this topic is very, very important because almost every year they set question on moment, skewness, and kurtosis. And for those of you that are in LASPOTECH, they rarely set this question. So you have both of us, both if you are in LASU and you are in LASPOTECH, so both of you have to what? You have to know this particular topic because question comes out in what? Most of the time, but mostly in LASU. But if you are in LASPOTECH, they rarely set question on this. But under percentile, quartile, decile, they set question on all the topics. Are we together? They set question on there. So what do you mean by moment? So we are going to start with what? We are going to start with moment. Are we together? We are going to start with moment. Now, what do you mean by moment? Moment simply means what? Average of a given number, average of a given distribution to a particular number. What do you mean by moment? Moment simply means what? Average of a given distribution to a particular power. Actually, in many textbooks, there's no a kind of specific definition of what? Of a moment. So the definition of moment is what? Is determined by what? By the type of moment we are looking for. So anytime we talk about moment, moment simply means what? Average of a given distribution to what? To a particular power. Now we have 4 different types of moment. So we are now going to talk about what? Types of what? Of moment. Number 1, we have what is called arith moment. Arith what? Moment. Arith or nth moment. Are we together? Then number 2, we have what? Moment about the mean. Moment about the what? About the mean. Then number 3, we have what? Moment about the origin. We have what? Moment about the origin. Moment about the what? The origin. So we have what? 3 types of moment. Basically, we have arith or nth moment. Some textbook we use r, while some textbook we use what? N. So arith or nth moment. So those are the 2 words we have. So then that's number 1. Number 2, we have moment about the mean. Then we have a moment about the origin. So each type of moment, are we together? They also have what? Subtypes. Now, every moment has different types. The moment about the mean has what? Different types. And I want you to know that moment about the origin is also the same thing as well. Moment arith or nth moment at the end of the day. So the answer you get under arith moment is still the same answer you're going to get when you use what? Moment about the origin. So in most textbooks, so what they recognize is what? They recognize what? Arith moment and what? Moment about the mean. So rarely few textbooks recognize what? Moment about the origin. And whenever we're talking about moment about the origin, we are meaning that the mean. The mean equals to what? 0. That is, whenever the word mean is what? Equals to 0. So now, because moment about the origin is not that very important, because since arith moment and nth moment, we give us the same answer as what? Moment about the origin. Definitely, we are going to concentrate on what? Arith moment and moment about the mean. So what we are not going to look at is what? Types of what? Arith moment. So we have what? Types of what? Arith moment. So the types of arith or nth moments are as follows. Number 1, we have what? First moments. Are we together? First moment is what? Summation s raised to power 1, because we say first moment. First means 1. So s is going to raise to power 1. Summation s raised to power 1 over what? Over n. Then we have our second moment. Second moment is what? S raised to power 2, because second means 2. Are we together? So it's going to raise to power 2 over n. Then we have our third moment. Third moment means what? S raised to power 3. Are we together? Third moment means s raised to power 3, because the word third means 3. Are we together? So raised to power 3, x raised to power 3 over what? Over n. Then the next one is what? Fourth moment. Fourth moment simply means what? X raised to power 4 over what? Over n. So fourth, that is 4. So definitely that's why I define moment as what? Average. Because you can say that this is mean, average of a given distribution based on a particular power. Now, if you talk about first moment, we are talking about the power is 1. Second moment, the power is 2. Third moment, the power is 3. Fourth moment, the power is 4. And so on like that. So we are not going to pick a question from what? We are going to pick a question from LASU that will require us to prepare our moment so that everybody at home will have a proper understanding. So let's go there. Next question. This question comes from LASU 2005 to 2006. It was a past question. Now they say, given the following data, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3. Then answer we should find first moment. So solution now. First moment. So let's just clean this. First moment. So first moment. First moment equals to what? Summation x raised to the power 1 divided by n. So now what do we do to get our first moment? Our x, each data given is x. Are we together? So we're not going to say 5 raised to the power 1 because that is the first one. Then plus what? Second one, 6 raised to the power 1 plus what? 4 raised to the power 1 plus what? 2 raised to the power 1 plus 3 raised to the power 1. All over what? Have n. Or having like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then divided by 5. So here now, because it is first moment, the power will be 1, 1. 5 raised to the power 1 is 5. 6 raised to the power 1 is 5. Then plus what? 4 raised to the power 1 is also what? Is also 4. Then 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. Are we together? 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. Then 3 raised to the power 1 is 3. Then all divided by 5. So from here, this plus this 11, 15. 15 plus, that is what? 20. 15 plus, that's 17. So 20 over 5. So the answer equals to 4. Are we together? So the answer equals to 4. So our first moment is 4. When you add it together, and I want you to know that first moment is the same thing as what? Arithmetic mean. Are we together? First moment is the same thing as what? Arithmetic mean. Arithmetic what? Mean. Arithmetic what? Mean. So please take note of that because under objective question they can ask you. So arithmetic mean, first moment is the same thing as arithmetic mean. So you have to look at the first moment. This is the answer. It's not clear. Backward the divider as many times as possible to get your understanding. Now we're now going to look at number 2, second moment. The second one to look at is what? Second moment. That's question number 2. The formula of second moment is what? Summation x raised to the power 2 over n. Because we say second, it means that the power of x will be 2. If we say third, it means that the power of x is going to be 3. So since the power of x is 2, we now come back here. This is our x. The first one is 5. We say 5 raised to the power 2 plus the second one 6 raised to the power 2 plus the third one 4 raised to the power 2. Are we together? Then plus what? The fourth one, that's what? 2 raised to the power 2. Then plus the fifth one, 2 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 2. So each one of them, don't mind my mouth. This is the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So raised to the power 2. Then all over n. Yeah. How many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do we do now? So 5 raised to the power 2 is 25. 5 times 5, 25. Then plus 6 raised to the power 2, that is 36. 4 raised to the power 2, that is 16. 4 raised to the power 2 is called 16. Plus 2 raised to the power 2, 4. Plus 3 raised to the power 2, that is 9. They are all over what? All over 5. Are we together? So we now add it together and get the answer. We add all this together. If you add them together, we are going to get 90. So 90 divided by 5 will give us what? Will give us 18. So that's the answer for the second moment. Is it not simple? It is very, very simple. So let's continue. Now this third one, the answer is what? The third moment. How do we get our third moment? Now the next one we are going to talk about is what? X raised to what? Third moment, which is what? X raised to power 3. So each one of them will raise to power 3. 5 raised to power 3 plus 6 raised to power 3 plus 4 raised to power 3 plus what? 2 raised to power 3 then plus 3 raised to power 3 then all over n. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 raised to power 3 will give us what? Will give us 125. Then 6 raised to power 3. 6 raised to power 3. 6 raised to power 3 is what? 216. Then 4 raised to power 3 equals to what? 64. Then 2 raised to power 3. 2 raised to power 3 is 8. Then 3 raised to power what? 3 raised to power 3 is what? 27. Then all over what? 5. How do we get this? Hello, I'm going to come back to it again. So let us now add and get our answer. All this together. So this raised to the power 3 gives us this answer. So if you add everything together, it will give us what? 440. And 440 divided by 5 will give us what? 88. Some people may be surprised, how do we get 125? You know, we have 5 raised to the power 3. 5 raised to the power 3 means 5 times 5 times 5, which is equal to what? 125. Then 6 raised to the power 3. 6 raised to the power 3 means what? 6 times 6 times what? 6, which is what? 216. Then 4 raised to the power 3 equals to what? 4 times 4, 4 times 4 times 4 equals to what? 64, and so on. That's how we get others. So if the power is 3, multiply it by itself 3 times. If the power is 4, multiply by itself 4 times and get that. So let's now look at what? The fourth moment. So we are going to look at what? Fourth moment. So fourth moment means the power is 4. So we are now going to say what? 5 raised to the power 4 plus what? 6 raised to the power 4 plus 4 raised to the power 4 plus what? 2 raised to the power 4 plus 3 raised to the power 4 all over what? 5. We have 5 in number. Now 5 raised to the power 4 equals to what? 625. Then plus, let's use calculator to get the rest. 5 raised to the power 4 will give us what? 625. 6 raised to the power 4 will give us what? 1296. 4 raised to the power 4 will give us what? 256. 2 raised to the power 4 is 16, then 3 raised to the power 4 is 81. So when we add everything together, when we add all this together, we are going to have for 2274. Then when we divide it by 5, we are going to get this answer. So this divided by 5 will give us this. So that's all about what? Fourth moment. So the next thing we are going to look at now is what? We're going to look at moments about the what? Moments about the mean. Thank you for watching. Let's look at example 2. Example 2 is under moments about the mean. So this is just what? Moments about the what? The mean. So that is where we have. So if it's not clear, backward your DVD and get the understanding. So moments about the mean. So the first thing, the question came out from LASSO again, 2006 to 2007. So if you are a LASSO student, please and please, you are not to joke with moment, because this question has been coming out almost every year. Now, let's go there. They say, given the following word data, 7, 3, 4, 6, 10. You now say, find first moment about the mean. Now, the formula for first moment about the mean, number 1, first moment about what? About the mean. First moment about the mean equals to what? Summation s minus s bar raised to power 1 all over what? N. So, since we say first moment about the mean, it means that the power will be 1. If the second moment, the power will be 2. So, about the mean is always what? S minus s bar. Are we together? So, from here, let's go. How do we get it? Now, the first thing we are going to get is our s bar. You know that each one of these is x. Each of these number one after is x. So, we need to get our s bar. And you know s bar means what? Mean. So, mean is the same thing as s bar, which is equal to what? Summation s over n. Are we together? Which is the same thing as summation s over n. So anytime, any day, this is how they are going to present the question. Now this is the solution. Now the first thing you are going to get is your s bar. Are we together? Before get your s bar, and the formula for getting it is summation s over n. So let us now add our s one after the other. Summation s is what? 7 plus what? Plus 3 plus what? 4, then plus 6, then plus 10 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5. So which is equal to this plus this plus this plus that is 30. So if we add everything together, we give us 30 over 5. And 30 divided by 5 is what? 6. So our s bar equals to 6. So the s bar is what? 6. So let us write it somewhere here. S bar equals to what? 6. So that I can rub this and get our what? And get the answer one after the other. So the first thing under moment about the mean, the first thing you are going to do is to get that mean. After you have gotten the mean, then you can now calculate moment about the mean. Without your s bar, which is equals to 6 as we have calculated it, definitely you cannot solve any question under moment about the mean. Therefore, let's now go there and see how we are going to get the answer for the first moment about the mean. Moment about the mean now. Our first moment about the mean equals to what? Equals to summation x. This is our x. So that's x minus s bar. What's our s bar? 6. So we now say minus 6, then raised to power 1 because of the power. This is your x. Each one of them is x. Then minus s bar, our s bar is just 6. So from here, then plus the second x. X minus what? S bar. Your S bar is 6. Then plus what? 4 minus what? S bar, which is 6. Then plus what? 10. Then plus 1, 2, 3. Then plus what? 6. This 6. 6 minus 6. Altogether raised to power 1. Then plus what? 10 minus 6 raised to power 1. Then everything all over what? All over 5. So, hello, this is how to calculate the moment about the mean. That is S, this is your S, minus S bar, which is 6. This is your S. Look at it here. X minus S bar. It means for 6S. 7 minus 6. This is your S, this is your S, this is your S. So, subtract this 6 from here, one after the other. And that's how we get it. So, that is just about that. So, we now get our answer this way. And say 7 minus 6, that is 1 raised to power 1 plus what? 3 minus 6, that is what? Minus 3 raised to power 1. Altogether, we don't even need raised to power 1 because anything raised to power 1 is still that thing. So we don't need it as much so that it will not prolong the illustration. So let me just rub this since what we need is the data. So these are still the data on the board. So let's get it. Then plus what? 4 minus 6, that is minus 2. Use your calculator to get the answer. Then plus what? 6 minus 6, that is what? 0. Then what do you have here? Then plus what? 10 minus 6 equals to what? Equals to 6. Put together raised to power 1, raised to power 1. Let's just put the raised to power 1 here. Then all over what? All over 5. 6 equals to what? Equals to 4. So 10 minus 6 equals to 4. Then over what? Over 5. Total number. So one after the other we go. 1 raised to power 1 is 1. Hello, this is plus, this is minus. Plus times minus is minus. So minus 3. Because 3 raised to power 1 is 3. Plus minus is what? Minus. Plus times minus is minus. Then plus. Plus times 0 is what? 0. Plus times 4, that is what? That is 4 plus 4. Then all over what? All over 5. Then the answer equals to. So just plus times minus will give us minus. Plus and minus is minus. So whenever two signs come together, the answer is always negative. Now here use your calculator. 1 minus 3, 1 minus 3 minus 2 plus 4 plus 0 plus 4. The answer equals to what? 0 over 5. I want together. I want you to use your calculator. Don't use F. Just press your calculator. Say 1 minus 3 minus 2 minus 0. 1 minus 3 minus 2 plus 0 plus 4. The answer will be 0. So don't use H. Just pick calculator and get. And 0 divided by 5 equals to what? 0. So 0 divided by 5 will give us what? 0. So use your calculator. 0 divided by 5 is 0. So just note that plus and minus will give us minus. Are we together? Plus minus will give us minus. So just use your calculator because if you use edge, just so that you don't know mathematics very well, you might fuck up. So just say 1 minus 3 minus 2 plus 0 plus 4. The answer will be 0 divided by this. And I want you to know, oh yeah, let us note now. Note NB. First moment, anytime, anything, first moment about the mean. About the mean must be what? Must be 0. Must be equals to 0. Every first moment about the mean is always what? 0. Take note of this. Note, everybody. Because why? Everybody can ask you an objective question that which moment about the mean is always equals to 0. First moment about the mean must be what? 0. Must be equal. Must be equals to what? Equals to 0. Must be equal to 0. So anytime, any day. So take note of that. Every first moment is always equals to 0. Now let us now go to number 2. Second moment about the mean. So the next thing we are going to look at is what? Second moment about the mean. And the second moment about the mean is what? S minus S varies to power 2. So this is the mean. About that mean that we are talking about is this. So our second moment about the mean is this. And take note of that. Second moment about the mean is what? Is going to have power. If it is third moment, the power will be 3. So we are still going to subtract our S bar. So the S bar is 6. So we are now going to say what? Our second moment will now be equal to X. This is X now. Our S is 7 minus S bar, which is 6. Are we together? Which is 6
raised to power 2. Then plus the second x is 3 minus x bar, which is equal to what? 2. Then plus what? 4, which is minus 4 is the next one, minus the x bar, which is 6 raised to power 2. Then the next one is 6 minus what? 6. Altogether 6 minus 6 raised to power 2. 6 minus 6 raised to power 2. Then plus what? The next one is 10. 10 minus 6 raised to power 2. And everything all over what? All over 5. So from here we go. 7 minus 6 is 1. Minus 1. No, it's 1. It's 1 raised to power 2. The power is 2 because of second moment. 3 minus 6 is what? Minus 3. Because of the power, it raised to power 2. Then plus 6 minus 2 is what? Minus 2 raised to power 2. Then plus what? 6 minus 6, what is that? 0 plus 2. Then plus what? 6 minus 4, 10 minus 6 equals to what? 4 raised to power 2. Then everything all over what? All over 5. So this will not give us what? This will not give us 1 raised to power 2. 1 raised to power 2 is 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 3 times minus 3 will give us what? Will give us 9. Look at it. Minus 3 times minus 3. Minus times minus is plus. Then 3 times 3 is 9. That's why we have plus 9 here. Then plus minus 2 times minus 2 is 4 because minus times minus. Minus times minus plus. 2 times 2, that is 4. Are we together? So then plus the next one, 0 raised to power 2 is what? 0. 0 raised to power 2 is what? Is 0. Then plus what? 4 raised to power 2 is what? 16. Then everything all over what? Over 5. Which is going to be equal to, let's add together. So this plus this is 10 plus this is 14. 14 plus 16 is also what will give us 30. So 30. So if you add everything up here, will give us 30. And then 30 now divided by 2. 30 divided by 2. 30 divided by what? By 5. It will give us what? 6. Are we together? So 30 divided by 5 will give us 6. So that is how we get the answer. So this is the answer for second moment. Because we are going to make use of our second moment later in the day, this is how to write second moment. Are we together? This is our second moment. That's N2. Second moment. If it is third moment, we say N3. So N2 means second moment. The answer we get is 6. Are we together? We are going to make use of this moment under kurtosis. Because we are going to make use of it under kurtosis, definitely let us write it down so that we will not waste time in calculating it for the second time. So since we have done it here, let's put it there in case of what? Kurtosis. When we get there, you shall understand what we mean by kurtosis. Now, that's how we get it. And I want you to know, let us note now. So let us note. Are we together? Second moment, note now. Anytime, any day. Second moment about the mean. Second moment about the mean is what? Variance. Second moment about the mean is the same thing as what? Variance. I want you to know that. Anytime, any day. Because if you look at the formula of variance, are we together? It's summation x minus x bar raised to power 2 over n for group data. If it's for group data, summation f into bracket x minus x bar raised to power 2 over what? Summation f for group data. You will see that we have x bar, x minus x bar squared. The same thing applies to your what? Second moment, x minus x bar squared. So second moment about the mean is the same thing as variance. Are we together? And your variance is equal to what? This symbol, square. So this is the symbol for variance. Anytime, any day. I'm still using this opportunity to remind you. Because in statistics, you can say this symbol stands for what? Under objective question. And that's how to get it. Third moment. Because it is third, so the power will be 3. And you know that our x bar already is 6. It's not, please take note of, because this one is 6, does not mean that how your x must be 6. So please, it just happened by coincidence. So whatever be your x bar, we have calculated it before. So because of this, I still have to write it here. So let's go with that. Say x minus 6 raised to power 2. Are we together? That is x minus x bar raised to power 3 because we are talking about third moment. Plus what? Second x is what? 3 minus 6 raised to power 3. Then plus what? 4 minus 6 raised to power what? 3. Then plus what? 6 minus 6. 6 minus 6 raised to power what? Raised to power 3. Power 3. Then plus what? 10 minus 6 raised to power 3. Then all over what? 5. N is 5. So from here, we are now going to what? We are going to subtract. So this minus, that is 1 raised to power 3 plus what? This minus, that is what? Minus 3 raised to power 3. Then plus what? This minus this, that is what? Minus 2 raised to power 3. If you don't know how we get it, please just use calculator to round. Use your calculator to follow my lecture. And I've told you before that get a piece of paper and start jotting something down as I'm doing it one after the other. So 6 minus 6 is 0 raised to power 3 plus 10 minus 6, that is what? 4 raised to power 3. Then all over what? All over 5. So from here, what do we do? 1 raised to power 3 is 1. 1 times 1 times 1. Then minus 3 times minus 3 raised to power 3. Minus 3 raised to power 3 will give us minus 27. How? Look at it here. Minus 3 raised to power 3 means minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3. Are we together? Minus times minus is plus. Plus times minus is minus. Minus plus. Minus will give us plus. Then plus with another minus will give us a minus. 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is what? Is 9. 9 times 3 is what? 27. Are we together? So that's how we get minus 27. So the same thing applies to this. Minus 2 raised to power 3 is what? Minus 8. That is minus 2 raised to power 3 means minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2. Minus minus will give us plus. Minus minus plus. Plus times minus is also 9. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 4. 4 times 2 times 2 is 4. Then 2 times 2 4. Then 4 times 2 is what? Is 8. So that's how we get this. So the next one is what? 0. The 0 raised to power 3 is 0. Then plus what? 4 raised to power 3 is what? 216. Then everything over 5. Note now. 4 raised to power 3 is what? 4 raised to power 3 is 24. So if 1 minus 27 minus 8 plus 0 plus 64 will give us 30. So 30 divided by 5 will give us 6. So now just do it one after the other. 1 minus this plus this plus this. 1 minus this plus this will give us 30. 30 divided by 5 will give us 60. Are we together? Now, because we will need this what? Third moment. So we are still going to write it down. Our third moment about the mean is what? Is 3. So let us what? Write it down. It's also 6. Hello, that does not mean that the answer must be the same. Please take note of that. It's only by coincidence that the answer are the same. Are we together? And you know, under example situation, they would like to set a very confusing question. That if care is not taken, that's I got 6 here, I got 6 here. Am I doing the right thing? Hello, what it is most important thing is what? Your ability to understand the formula and do the right thing. If you know that you are doing the right thing, even though the answer is the same or is 0 throughout, hello, continue with what? Continue with the solution. The formula is this and we have applied the right formula. So no examiner will ever say that this is not correct. Are we together? So the answer we get here is M2 is this, M3 is this. So because of kurtosis, that's why I've written them down. Then fourth moment about the mean. Hello, fourth moment about the mean. I will write down the formula. And I want you to know that the highest moment we have is what? Fourth moment. Hello, the highest moment, we don't have anything like 50 moments or 60 moments or 10 moments. So we only have from 1 to 4. And after 1 to 4, there's no any other moment you can ever think of. So the highest moment we have is what? Is 4. Not 50, not 6. So we don't have anything like 10th moment or 20th moment. So we don't have. So what do we do now? Let's go to fourth. The last moment we are asked to find is what? Fourth moment. So our fourth moment is what? It's the same thing as M4. So the first moment is the same thing as M1. Second moment is the same thing as M2. Third moment is the same thing as M3. So take note. If I don't want to write it in word, I can write it in this way. Are we together? So now we want to look at fourth moment. Our fourth moment equals to what? X minus S bar. Our X is what? 7 minus S bar. Our S bar is 6. You know it before. Now plus what? Second moment is what? 3 minus 6 raised to the power 4. Then plus what? 4 minus 6 raised to the power 4. Then plus what? 6 minus 6 raised to the power 4. Then plus what? 10 minus 6 raised to the power 4. Everything all over what? Over 5. And this one gives us 1 raised to the power 4. Plus what? Minus 3 raised to the power 4. Then plus what? Minus 2 raised to the power 4. Then plus 0. This is 6. 0 raised to the power 4. Then plus what? 4 raised to the power 4. Then all over what? All over 5. Are we together? So since this is the last moment, so let us just rub this and get. So 1 raised to the power 4 is 1. 1 times 1 times 1 plus 3 raised to the power 4 is what? 81. Not minus 81. Because look at it. Minus 3 raised to the power 4 equals to minus 3 times minus 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 will give us plus. Another minus minus will give us plus. Minus minus, minus times minus plus, minus times minus plus. 3 times 3, what do you have? 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, that's 81. So anytime, any day, whenever a negative number raised to power even number, the answer is always positive. So this one will give us what? 16. And this one will give us 0. Then this one will give us 4 raised to power 4. 4 raised to power 4 equals to 216. Then all over 5. So let us add and get the final answer. Now 4 raised to power 4. 4 raised to power 4 is what? Is 256. That is 4 times 4 times 4 times into 4 places. So when you add all this together, when you 1 plus 81 plus 16 plus 0 plus 256, if you add everything together, you get what? 354. Then divided by 5. So this divided by 5 will give us 17.4. So we don't really need fourth moment. So what we just need is second and then third moment. So now the next topic we are going to look at is what? Skewness. Are we together? So let's look at skewness. Skewness. So we are going to talk about skewness next. What do you mean by skewness? Skewness. Are we together? What do you mean by that? Skewness is defined as what? As a measurement of what? Departure. Skewness is defined as a measurement of what? Departure of a given distribution from what? Symmetry. Again, write it down now. Write it down somewhere. Anytime you hear the word skewness, skewness is defined as a measurement of what? As the measurement of departure of a given distribution from what? Symmetry. Symmetry. Are we together? The word symmetry. Are we together? So the measurement of what? Departure. Departure of a given. The measurement, skewness is the measurement of what? Departure of a given distribution from symmetry. Are we together? So anytime, any day you hear the word skewness, skewness simply means what? The measurement of departure of a given distribution from symmetry. What do you mean by symmetry? Symmetry simply means what? Ability of a what? Of a given distribution or data to be divided into what? 2 equal parts. Ability of what? Ability of and what? Of a given distribution to be divided into what? Two equal parts. Whenever you can be divided into two, human being can be divided into 2 equal parts. That is symmetry. That is if they divide this my head now into 2, are we together? Or they divide your head into 2. Are we together? We are going to have one part and another part. Are we together? So that is symmetry. Whenever you can divide something into 2 equal parts, we call it your symmetry. The only thing that cannot be divided into 2 equal parts is what? Amoeba. Are we together? I'm taking you back to biology in your secondary school level. So whenever you can divide something into 2 equal parts, we say it is what? Symmetry. So now, if something cannot be divided into 2 equal parts, so you want to look at deviation, how they deviate from what? From being divided to equal. From this. So given that mean is 6, median is 10, standard deviation is 4. So we are now asked to find skewness now. Find skewness. How do we get our skewness? Our skewness is SK, that's the symbol, which is equal to what? 3 mean minus what? Median. All over what? All over standard deviation. All over standard deviation. So we now go to have 3 into bracket mean. What is my mean now? The mean is 6 minus what? Median, which is equal to 10. Then all over 4, which is standard deviation. So we're now going to say 3 into bracket 6 minus 10, that is minus 4. Then divided by 4. So here we're now going to have 3 times minus 4, that is minus 12. All over what? 4. So 6 minus 10 is 4. Are we together? So 3 times 4, what do you have? 3 times 4 is 3 times 4 will give us minus 12. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12. So this got that is what? Minus 3. So the answer is minus 3. So in this case, since our answer is negative, we are going to say it is what? Negatively skewed. Are we together? So that is all about what? And they can give you group data. They ask you to find skewness. Hello, if you are given group data and you are asked to find skewness, it means the way we have found our mean under group data, you find it. The way you find your median under group data, you find it. The way you find your standard deviation,
you find it normally, one after the other. We have treated it. So I don't want to waste time for me to show me again when we have another topic to talk about. So backward your DVD and get the understanding on how to calculate mean, median, standard deviation, mode, and so on like that, so as to get the word understanding of skewness. So there's no more than two formulas we have. The first formula is mean minus mode over standard deviation. Second formula is 3 mean minus median over standard deviation. So quickly get that. So the answer, your answer will be represented on a table. That is, for us now to represent our answer on a table, let's go there. So we have what? This. If you have it this way, then I know this is what? Mean, median, median, and what? Then mode. This, because this is under number line, this is negative side. So this is the representation of what? Negatively skewed. Whenever it is negatively skewed, this is the what? This is the graph. So negative what? Negative skewness. So this is what? This is what? Negative skewness. Then if it is positive, are we together? Our positive skewness will be like this. Are we together? So these are positive or skewness. So our negative skewness. So we are still going to, the mouth must be mean. So our starting must be mean, then median. The mouth of the what? Of the graph must be mean, then this one must be what? Mode. All together. So mean. So we have to what? Median. Now this is what? Negatively skewed. That is, from the tail, you start, tail is mean, median, mode. Tail again, the tail side is mean, median, mode. So this is positive because under number line, this is what? Positive side. This is what? Positive side. Why this is what? Negative side. So when I join the two, I can join the two together, but for clarity, so let's just have it this way. So we can touch it down like this, and bring it down. Say this one like this, and like this. So each arrow represents each one of them one by one. How together. So now let's go to kurtosis. So the next topic we're going to look at now is what? Kurtosis. Now the next topic we are going to talk about is what? Kurtosis. What do you mean by kurtosis? Kurtosis simply means what? The measurement of what? Of a given distribution. Now the measurement of thickness of a given distribution. What we mean by kurtosis is what? Kurtosis is defined as the measurement of what? Of thickness of a given distribution. Thickness of a given what? Distribution when compared to what? Normal distribution. So kurtosis is defined as the measurement of what? Thickness of a given what? Distribution when compared to what? Normal distribution. Lastly, kurtosis is defined as the measurement of what? Thickness of a given distribution when compared to what? Normal distribution. Now, anyhow, anytime, kurtosis is always what? Represented by K. And the formula for kurtosis is what? N3 all over what? All over standard deviation raised to power 4. Are we together? Hello, M3 over what? Standard deviation raised to power 4 in case of objective. So the formula for kurtosis is N3 over H raised to power 4. But we can rewrite the formula as what? Third moment all over what? Second moment raised to power 2. Are we together? Hello. So the formula now, if you want to work it out, this is the formula. But in case of objective question, this is because I want you to know that what? Second moment standard deviation altogether raised to power 4 can also be expressed as what? N2 raised to power 2. Are we together? N2 raised to power 2. How do we? You know we have standard deviation. Standard deviation is what? Square root of what? Variance. Are we together? Standard deviation is what? Square root of what? Variance. Are we together? Square root of what? Variance. Square root of variance. Standard deviation equals to what? Square root of